With challenges of population growth, the need to address sustainable development has become a global priority. Access to renewable sources of energy is a fundamental answer to this problem, and leaders of all nations are in the position to encourage and influence energy policies and legislation in their respective countries to aid in this urgent matter. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association of the UK, the United Nations Development Programme, and the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago hosted the Caribbean Regional Workshop in Port of Spain from December 7th to 10th, 2015. This collaborative effort sought to empower regional leaders in an effort to achieve sustainable development goals and provide them with tools needed to make an impact on a national level. During the workshop, interviews were conducted with some of the participants to capture their views of the roles of parliamentarians in the successful implementation and achievement of SDGs. Bhoendradatt Tewarie. What are the main opportunities and challenges the Caribbean currently faces in terms of energy and sustainable development?
I think as small island states and as countries, most of which have some kind of coastal access, I think these countries would do well to move towards a more sustainable part of energy and a more, what can I say, to alternative uses of energy and of course to renewable energy sources. I think it would be very good for the Caribbean to set an example in the world that way.
How do you envisage the role of parliamentarians with regard to the SDGs?
I think that there are three key things that parliamentarians can do. I think the first thing is to make sure that policy for the country is debated in the parliament so that they are not simply an act of executive decision. And if there is a full debate of policy in the direction of sustainability in the parliament, I think we are more likely to get policy that is truly national in scope rather than partisan in interest. The second thing is that we must ensure that the parliaments are not dominated by the executive and that the parliamentary process is allowed to play its genuine role, which is to hold the executive accountable. And if we have strong parliamentary committees that are responsible for oversight and they have the command over the scrutiny of matters related to policy execution, I think that can be very valuable in terms of ensuring that the country addresses the sustainability challenges and that policy is advanced to achieve the goals of sustainable development. And thirdly, through the parliamentary oversight process, the citizens can also be brought into the picture so that NGOs and people's organizations can have their input and influence the process of scrutiny over governmental action. And I think if these things were done, the parliament could be very strong in exercising influence to ensure that countries adhere to sustainable development goals and objectives.
Final thoughts.
I think the workshop was very well thought through. It started with the issues of climate change and the general issues of sustainable development. And then it focused on energy and energy-related issues. And it addressed the issues of sustainability from the point of view as well of the 17 Millennium Development Goals. I think tying it in like that with a group of parliamentarians from across the board, from the UK, from the Caribbean. I think what is possible is that it has really created the conditions for a thoughtful examination of some of the pressing issues of sustainability and sustainable development. And more than that, it has raised the question of how can parliamentarians and parliaments play a role in aligning maybe national and regional policy and action to the sustainable development agenda globally. And I think that that is very, very useful and really quite admirable in its attempt to try to bring information to people and also to take into account people's perspectives based on their national experience and based on their collective sharing. I think that's very valuable.